today I'm going to show you how to make a modern version of Ben Franklin's long arm. So to do this, you're going to need a big piece of cardboard, maybe from an old an empty cardboard box. You're also going to need a rubber band, some string, 4 split pins, so those ones that you can open up at the end, a sharp pencil, either a ruler or a tape measure, some scissors, and some tape. So the first thing you're going to need to do is measure out and cut out some strips of cardboard. I did this beforehand to save some time. So you're going to start by making the longest strips, which will be for the handle of your long arm. So the more of these you can do, the better, to make it as strong as possible. So I've done 4 of these long strips, which I'm then going to tape together. So they are about 40 centimetres long and 4 centimetres wide. So I've got 4 of those, but the more you have, the better, as it will make your handle nice and strong. Then you need 3 slightly shorter strips. So these ones are still going to be 4 centimetres wide, but they're going to be 26 centimetres long. So you need 3 of those. And then 2 even shorter strips. So again, 4 centimetres wide, but these ones are 13 centimetres long. So once you've cut all those out, you can start putting your long arm together. So I'm going to take those long strips, the ones that are about 40 centimetres, and I'm going to take some tape and attach them all together in a few places to make sure they're really secure. And when I was cutting the cardboard, I made sure that I was cutting along the line of the cardboard, so you should be able to see some faint lines going in the same direction. And that helps to make sure it's really strong and durable and less likely to bend. Okay, so I've taped that together in about 4 places, but you might want to do a few more, make sure it's really secure. So once that's done, you're going to take one of your medium-sized pieces that's, remember, 26 centimetres long, and you're going to fold that in half. Okay, and then we're going to attach this over one end of your long handle and tape it on, and you want to leave a little bit at the end where there's a bit of a gap, because we're going to poke a hole through here, and if you're trying to poke through all of that cardboard, that's going to be a bit difficult. So we're going to leave a little bit at the end that we can poke a hole through. You want to be able to poke the hole about 1 centimetre from the end using your sharp pencil. So I'm going to attach that to the end of the handle and then poke my hole. So that's taped on now. I can take my pencil, and so about 1 centimetre in, I'm going to poke a hole and make sure it goes through both sides of this piece of cardboard that's gone on the end. Okay, so that hole's ready now. So I'm going to prepare the other strips of cardboard that I cut earlier. Now the other 2 medium-sized strips that are 26 centimetres long, at one end, we're going to need to do a hole about 1 centimetre again from the end, and then also a hole in the middle of each strip too. So I'm going to use my sharp pencil again. You may want to, at this point, use your ruler or tape measure to find that middle point in the strip. So I'm looking for it to be 13 centimetres along. and then I'll poke my hole with the sharp pencil. Okay, so those ones are ready with their holes now. It's time to take the smallest strip. So remember, these were 13 centimeters long, and we're going to need to do a hole 1 centimeter from each end. As you do this, be careful, try to make sure you don't bend the strips if possible. You want to keep them strong. Okay, so now I've got the holes in those ones too. So now we're going to start putting it all together. So if you go back to your handle, and remember you've got the extra bit on the end which has the hole. So this is where we're going to attach the medium-sized strips, and they're going to be going in a cross shape. So we put them in the cross shape, and they should both have that hole in the middle, and those cross over in a cross. And then we're going to use one of our split pins, and we're going to poke it through that central hole, and then again through the hole at the end of one end of the handle. Okay, and when you do this, you want to make sure that the other holes on these medium-sized strips are facing the handle rather than facing away from it. And so you then fold over your split pin at the back, and you might want to add some tape over it to make sure it doesn't come loose. Okay, so we're starting to put our long arm together. Now it's time to take those short strips, and we're going to use one split pin to connect them together at one side, so they're making almost a V shape. Once again at the back, you might want to put some tape down to make sure it's secure. So it can move, needs to be able to move like this. Okay, and then we're going to take the last two split pins and attach these smaller strips to the medium-sized ones, like this. Okay. And once you take those down at the back, it should look like this. So you should have your 4 split pins in place. And the next thing we need to do is to find a way to attach our string. So to do that, we're going to need to thread the rubber band underneath the heads of these 2 pins here in the middle that are kind of in line with the handle. So take your rubber band. You will need a slightly thinner rubber band for this. Okay, so that should then be threaded underneath the heads of those 2 split pins. And the last thing we need to do is attach the string. So we're going to tie it again under the head of this bottom split pin, and then we should be able to put it backwards and forwards, and then our long arm will be able to pick some things up. I've got my string again, not too thick, quite thin string if possible. I've threaded it under the head of the split pin. I'm going to tie it in a tight knot. Okay, so now you have your string, you should be able to move your long arm backwards and forwards. Now, that can happen. The rubber band can pop off, so we just need to reattach it. Make sure it's really well threaded underneath the head of the split pin. Really secure. There we go, that should be better. Now, when you come to use your long arm, you might find that it can only really pick up certain things. So my challenge to you is to try and improve the design by thinking about what you might attach to the ends. Would you maybe have some pieces coming out this way? Maybe think about the material. Could you add a material that's going to have more grip, more friction? And see how that improves your long arm. And do send us your creations. You can send them by email to education@benjaminfranklinhouse.org. Enjoy.